Today I'm making a delicious recipe with you, a tribute to my homeland. Since Cetara is close by, I'll prepare spaghetti with garlic, oil and chili pepper with Cetara anchovy sauce. This is a very simple recipe, but at the same time you have to be careful. And above all, it really depends on your taste, because if you add too much anchovy sauce, it becomes inedible, way too salty. If you add too little, the dish turns out bland, kind of meh. So even though it might be an easy dish, be careful and taste as you go while preparing this recipe. And I'll show you that despite its simplicity, you'll end up with a delicious plate of pasta. Let's make these spaghetti together. Let's get started. So first of all, I'm dividing some cloves about half. From the inside, I remove the core so that the cloves are easier to digest. I remove the core only if the garlic will be eaten. When, for example, I just use the clove to give flavor to the oil and then remove it, I think it's a process. Useless, a pointless waste of time. Not in this case, because the garlic should be eaten. Once you remove the core, I chop the cloves. You can also grate or crush them. If, like me, you chop the cloves, make them small so that during cooking they almost melt in perfect oil. Now, I chop the chili pepper. Then in the pan I add some extra virgin olive oil, obviously a generous amount. I use low heat. I add the garlic, the chili pepper and the parsley stems, and I let them saute on low heat for a few minutes. Now, since the water is boiling, I add salt and put the spaghetti in to cook. Halfway through cooking the pasta, you see it's still raw. I transfer it to the pan over low heat. At this point, I add a bit of colatura, even now. I know you're supposed to add it at the end, but I like it this way. I add a bit of cooking water and let the pasta finish cooking. Adding more cooking water only if needed. Wow, what an amazing smell. Can you smell that? So, you often ask me how much water to add, and so on. I can't tell you exactly how much water to add. It would be impossible to calculate because there can be so many variables. But the only thing I can recommend is that you should add just a little at a time. Take a few minutes, so stay close to the pan and adjust as you go, then taste the pasta to see if it's cooked. Don't add it unless you're experienced, a bit like me. A lot right away, because otherwise you'll end up with leftover water, the pasta will cook and you'll be left with watery pasta. Okay, we're almost there. So I'll remove the parsley stems. I turn off the heat. There's still a stem. I add a bit more colatura. Obviously I tasted it, so I more or less know how much is needed. I add a bit of lemon zest. Just a little bit. I stir it well. Listen to how creamy this is. And onto the plate. Here it is. So let's take a look. Oh my, make it. Watch the amounts, look. It's perfect. I'll confess something to you. Even I haven't made it like this before. Never this perfect. So taste it, then you'll get familiar with it. And with this little bottle of colatura here, you can make it, in my opinion, about 10 times. Make it and let me know what you think in the comments below. For now, I'll say goodbye. And as usual, before I leave you, I'll take the opportunity to wish you a good meal.